Well, hello everybody and welcome back to my Let's Play the game known as SpellForce 3, so I have a standalone expansion. I'm playing this through SpellForce 3 Reinforced Client, by the way. This is episode 97, and we're about to confront the one we believe is the Corrupted. I said last episode at the end, well, it turns out it would be her brother, because we don't know what happened to her. But we'll see. That'd be a twist, but I'm probably wrong. I'm just letting that go down a little bit, but there should be a conversation for a time.
Me?
It's over, Arrakis. Your guards are dead.
It's over, Arrakis. Your guards.
He's a puppet. It is her brother.
What?
What on Io is this? It's like he's not even aware of us.
He's a puppet.
Rains. Of course. The rune.
Rune?
The rune Rondar Lacane used during the Purity Wars, remember? I told you about it.
Oh yeah.
The Purity of Light used it to control Lady Myra Utran's mind. The way Arrakis is behaving, this
It's the same.
catatonia. It's just like how Lady Myra was after Tahar broke the rune's influence on her. High Hierophant Arrakis is under mind control, Erev. He was.
Wait. You mean someone is controlling him?
And her brother's not here.
Who?
Isgrimm. Of course.
What?
It has to be Isgrimm. He's the only one who knows how to handle the rune.
Then
He's
what-
the one who has it.
Guardians.
What?
You're right.
Hold on. What the stones are you talking about? Mind control,
The
rune?
mage?
If anybody is controlling Arrakis,
Friend from
then
last
it's the
time?
God of Light. You heard what?
No, Rara, you don't understand. Isgrimm is the dwarf Wraith saw during the ritual. He's the corrupted, not Arrakis. Look,
Isgrimm's already
during the
turned.
Purity Wars, Rondar Lacane used a Shaper runestone to exert mind control over an influential noble in the north, Lady Myra Utran. Jarrus told me the story. Despite the dangers, Circle Mage Isgrimm was fascinated by the technology, and he must have
Isgrimm's
continued to
already
research
turned.
it without the Queen's permission.
Then... a circle mage
Wow,
did
and
this.
it's just already turned.
Why?
I don't know, but Arrakis must have been a puppet, and all this, the Granite Suns, the monument, Isgrimm forced him to do it. We have to...
Your friend.
There's the bastard. Good.
Malik, where were you?
Where do you think? Outside, putting down Arrakis's dogs.
That's a bloodbath out there.
Yep.
Was that really necessary? You were supposed to blow up the monument and then sneak into the castle.
Aye, but things got messy. What do you expect us to do? Fight the guards with candy and pillows? But don't worry, it's almost over.
Oh, it's not.
All that's left to do now is put down the bad shepherd and the rest of his lambs.
You
You got the wrong one.
want to kill him? That wasn't part of the plan, Malik.
And he's done nothing wrong at this point.
Change.
Wow. I actually like this twist. I was expecting it would be him. And I was like, oh, they won't do that. And instead, Isgrimm, I didn't see that coming. And it makes sense too, because obviously circle mages end up becoming more evil and stuff. Even what's her name does, don't they? Or maybe they kill her off before as they're turning evil, whatever. So that's what the Circle Mage War's about. So this is Isgrimm already turning, and they've tied it into the expansion pack, so we actually see one of his master plans coming into fruition. Maybe that's why she leaves. She leaves the Circle Mages then because of it. Wow. This is cool. And then maybe after she dies of old age on the streets or whatever. Okay, put down his lambs.
Wait, what do you mean by put down his lambs?
What do you think? Every bootlicker, every stuck-up aristocrat, every pragmatist who stood with this bastard is going to die.
They're just doing their
We're going to
jobs.
finish what we started outside.
Malik, that's...
That's just what needs to be done, for fuck's sake. That bullshit ideology Arrakis has put into their heads. It's like cancer. If you don't cut out every single bit of the tumor, it always comes back.
Wow, that's... this is the equivalent, again, take Isgrimm out of the picture, and let's say he was behind this. This is the like Hitler situation. Hitler, what he did was wrong and evil. Without Isgrimm controlling him and saying he's doing it, he's doing wrong and evil. Then his higher-ups with him, who agree with him, are wrong and evil. But then you got the other people who are just following orders because they've been good citizens, and that's what some of these high ones up, I believe, that he's killed, they've done nothing wrong. They'll happily follow you if you're in charge. They'll happily follow him who's in charge. They're following the rules. And you just killed them for no reason. Yes, there's certain people on his side who deserved it, but at this point in time, going back to the Isgrimm situation, Isgrimm's the one who's puppeting to him, and then his people who maybe believe in what he was saying, they're being Isgrimm, so maybe these high-ups need to be taken, but these other high-ups here don't. They're just following orders. There's the whole thing like in war, most people try and see their side as good, but they're not always. Why don't you just throw him in the dungeon?
Why don't you just throw him into a dungeon?
So that he uses his friends to buy him out the first chance he gets? No, General. Bastards like Arrakis, the rich and
Why
the
no one
mighty,
saw
they
him?
always find a
Was he
way
being
to
controlled?
wriggle themselves out of punishment. You have to cut them down when you have the chance.
Because he's not a threat anymore. This is your core.
Arrakis wasn't in charge of all this. He was under mind control.
Mind control? Huh? Well, that doesn't change the
What?
fact that he's got blood on his hands, too.
If he's controlled,
First,
it
we
does.
take care of him, and then we find whoever was making the monkey dance.
You're starting to sound just like him.
Yeah, you're just going to replace him with yourself.
Horse, Rara. You're not calling the shots here, not this time. Now, the only reason you came back after you ditched me here was because you wanted to feel good about yourself.
Wow.
And even then, you couldn't wait to jump ship again and run off with that traitor general and his army. You have no fucking
Traitor.
idea what
Wow,
it's like down
he's
here.
jealous.
Now stand aside and let me finish what we started.
Liz, Marco is right, Raren, we have to kill him.
No. We helped you under the assumption that you were going to help Windholm,
Exactly.
not orchestrate a bloodbath. Arrakis lives, and so will his underlings. In prison.
Don't you dare order me around. Don't you fucking dare!
Right. Well, you brought us up yourself, mate. You're the wrong one. I don't want to quite kill you, but we had to. I kicked turn just in time to slice him.
Let's find this Isgrimm.
Are you alright, Rick?
I'm good. Now, where can we find the one who did this? Do you think he's here? In
I would have
Windholm?
thought she was more to say about being a circle mage. The fact that she hasn't is kind of annoying. To your companions' thoughts.
What about your brother? Do we leave him here?
He's only unconscious and none of his
Oh,
wounds are lethal.
okay,
but
unconscious, good.
we'll find a healer to take care of him. Now again, where's this circle mage? Where's Isgrimm?
Thoughts, anyone?
The rune only has a very limited range. So yes, he must be here. He was here all the time.
Hold on. Didn't your brother mention something about an alt dwarf going in and out of the tunnels?
You mean
Ah,
that was him?
It's a possibility.
Right.
it's good. We thought it was that other one we
Well-
found.
Then let's find the man. I'd like to have a calm and rational discussion with him.
Anyway, turn back because he's going to pop before, aren't they? Hopefully they take it away from wakes up, but we just end up killing him anyway.
What do you need?
Okay, so we want to go this way.
Either way.
Stay close.
What was that done with the quest, by the way? Let's do Fire and Stone. Okay, still not pass this quest.
Even well down into the lower layers of the city, the fighting continues. At least, that's what the din of cries, fires, and clashing axes suggests. Rara leads the way, walking fast, her eyes fixed forward.
Here we are. Let's hope we're right and he hasn't made a run for it yet.
We should try that grave first. Remember? The one we found last time we were here?
Good point.
You lead, I follow.
Oh yeah, this place.
Sure.
It's not fair. It's just not fair.
Hear that?
Isgrimm? Isgrimm! See what I'm talking about? It has the same picture. It was, wasn't it, in that other person? What's he done? He helped us so much with Tahar and stuff. Unless he's trying to bring Tahar back or something.
Iria?
We know what you did, Isgrimm. You used the rune to orchestrate the rise of the Granite Suns. Arrakis was your puppet.
So the secret's out. I knew it would be eventually.
Stones, why? Why the stones would you do something like this?
Yeah, and the bloodbath,
Do you
of
know
course.
how many people you've killed?
Everything you did to
Do you
save
know whose
people.
grave this is?
How should I know?
Tahar's?
It's Gilak Orblades,
Oh,
the founder of the first Blackstone rebels,
okay.
whose name you borrowed. King Rorick executed him 20 years ago.
I know who Gilak Orblade was. A hero. What does he have to do with you?
He was my husband.
You're...
What?
What?
It's true, Rera. I should have told you earlier, but I don't know. It was private.
So, Gilak Orblade was your... what? Your lover?
Was the
Wow.
idea that absurd, Gilak?
I didn't know he was gay, but
All he
okay.
ever wanted to do was good. He didn't fool himself into believing he could save the entire world. Just a touch of good.
But you
here and there.
saved the world and then you just gone around
That's why he
and
founded
killed
the rebels.
loads.
They weren't even violent to begin with. Just a voice against the injustices that happened under King Rorick's reign. And what did he get in return? Right. The king had him murdered. And when they presented his body to the public, everyone cheered.
I don't follow. King Rorick killed your husband, I understand that. But why on Io would you use the rune to mastermind the rise of another tyrant because of that?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make them see! I
What?
wanted to make these stupid, gullible fools who enable people like Rorick and Arrakis to see how endlessly rotten they really are! And it worked, didn't it? All it took were empty words and hatred, and look at what happened. If we dwarves are really that easy to break, that easy to manipulate, then blood and ashes are all we deserve. Arrakis was a test, and they failed it.
Holy fudge. Wow. Wow. Well done, people behind SpellForce 3. I didn't see the Isgrimm twist, and I didn't see the husband twist coming. Because I was like, what reason has he got to kill like this? A lover would make sense. If he's that hurt and broken, wow. Doesn't make it right, but wow. Flames, are you happy? You did all this to prove a point. You were mind controlling him all along. Why have you released arrogance now? Seeded in it, so... How did your test fail?
The rebellion succeeded, didn't it? So how did Windholm fail your test?
They failed it the moment they elevated Arrakis into power. Restore Windholm to its former glory. Gravel Eaters, Granite Suns. Empty words. Pandering, sycophancy through and through. How could anyone believe this nonsense? And yet they did. They cheered, they hated, and they killed for it. As for the rebels, I had high hopes for them. But the more powerful they became, the clearer it became to me that they were ultimately no better than Arrakis.
they can't
Look
cut
at the
the end.
bloodbath up there. They did that. Give a man an axe, and you see his true face.
Malik made them do it. This wasn't what I stood for. This wasn't what any of us stood for.
And yet they obeyed when your brother commanded them to commence the slaughtering. Admit it, Hailstone. It's just in our blood. We dwarves deserve no better.
Wow. So he's damning his whole race. Wow. So he basically set the stage, and his plan, they pushed him to power. Well, obviously they should have rejected him, so he failed. And he goes, well, at least the rebels got a chance. And then Malik went and bloodbathed everyone. So in other words, he set them up and just let them go at it. And it turned out as bloody and bad as it has, because he was right about them. That's what he's trying to say, isn't he? Basically, they could have rejected him, no bloodbath. The rebels could have gone up there, did the coup the way they should have done it. Took out some high ups, but basically, no bloodbath. Instead, he's just seen the higher ups completely fail. His civilians completely fail. The rebels completely fail. and now he wants his whole race destroyed, all because he had his lover that he's killed, even though he was a hero back in SpellForce 3. And without, again, he's one of the main ones. Without him, with the Shapers and everything, to Harper wouldn't have succeeded.
Why have you released Arrakis now?
Why? Because there's no point anymore. The test is over. And Windholm has failed.
And that's something else which shows what I like with this twist in the story of the expansion. You always hear like the Circle Mages, these mad, do what they want. And that's literally what he's doing now. He's literally on a test with his whole race. And that's awesome how he's done that. It's a test with his whole race and stuff. And it shows the madness that's got into the heads and the power they've got for him to do this. So for the first time we've actually seen a true Circle Mage, or early Circle Mage, in the game form. Because yes, we have the Circle Mage on SpellForce 1. But it never really hit me like this. That he orchestrated everything. The way he has. So you might control him all along.
In other words, Arrakis was your puppet from the very start.
For 5 moons. Not from the start.
Okay.
You see, Arrakis was always a hate-monger at heart. That's why I chose him. Preached racial purity.
5 months.
Yet slept with an elf. What he lacked was simply the rhetorics and the charisma to take over.
And you gave him that.
So I used the rune on him and helped out with that.
So if you hadn't interfered, technically he might have got to power anyway. Well, probably wouldn't because he wasn't charismatic enough. So you did all this to prove a point?
So you did all this to prove a point?
Call it what you will. The truth is, had these people not been so foolish, Windwall would still be at peace now, and Gilak would still be alive.
You bloody arrogant piece of shit! You played God. That's what this was about. Don't you dare pretend it was any different.
I threw a carcass into the arena, Hailstone. The lions tore it apart.
You know, if Tahar was here, he'd be stupid disappointed in him.
Well, Windholm is in flames and hundreds of dwarves are dead.
I want him to pass.
Are you happy?
Quite the opposite. But it wasn't me. I never had Arrakis order the death of anyone. What happened out there? Those fools did it to themselves. And that includes your brother, Rara Hailstone. He was only waiting for a chance to get his hands bloody.
You know nothing about my brother.
Oh, but I do. I know that you and he resurrected the Blackstone rebels. And at first, I actually even supported you. Does the name Turfa Smeltgrip ring a bell? Your most generous supporter?
It was him.
I planted that idea inside her head.
Oh.
Wait, you built up the Blackstone rebels?
I supported them. But the more I watched, the more I realized that they were as bad as Arrakis' lackeys. Just in a different uniform. What your brother did out there, Rara Hailstone, only proves my point.
So you caused a civil war just to prove a point? You're mad.
No more mad than the countless dwarves who cheered Arrakis on.
Isgrimm, you are also being manipulated. You're one of the corrupted. One of the God of Light's tools.
The God of Light? What are you talking about?
The God of Light is trying to re-enter the world. It's part of an ancient prophecy, Jakku. There are 4 corrupted whose task it is to sow chaos and help with its plan. And you are one of them. You might not have been aware of it, but the God of Light influenced your actions.
What? But... no. This is nonsense. I did this because the dwarves deserved it. We all...
Corrupted or not, I don't give a shit. You have blood on your hands, Circle Mage Isgrimm, and you're gonna answer for it. General, I hope you have a spare cell in the Greykeep dungeons. A lightless one with rats.
He'll be tried and punished, yes. Isgrimm, promise me that you're not gonna put up a fight.
Yeah, I
There's
want
been
to
enough
fight you
bloodshed
here.
today.
Do what you want. I did what I had to.
Okay. So yeah, that's a part. I forgot about the corrupted thing again, part of the story. So yeah, so technically, the light gods, whatever, corrupted him to do this. So in a way, he was also being controlled. So he was also a puppet, and he doesn't even realise it. But the fact he was behind that, wow, what a twist.
Your Majesty, I'm sorry for the delay. There was something I needed to take care of.
You are excused. We were just discussing the events in Windholm. Iria, you say you noticed nothing strange about Isgrimm all this time? I am not blaming you. I simply imagine he must have worked on this plan for quite some time before realizing it.
Well, you know how Isgrimm is. When he wasn't abroad on his expeditions, he was in his laboratory researching the rune and how the Shapers used it. He would have had plenty of time to work on this plan of his.
Though that raises the question as to when corruption starts. Kieran, the Empyrean man, also wasn't aware that he was serving Jakku. So was it Sheobded who put these ideas into their heads? Or were they already there, and Sheobded merely twisted them for his own purposes?
Yeah.
Either explanation is unsettling.
Definitely.
Well, unsettling or not, what matters is that we took one more of Sheobded's corrupted out of the equation. Also, High Hierophant Arrakis won't be a problem any longer. You did good work, Rara Hailstone. And so did you, General.
Thank you. Will pulling him in change really stop, Jaka? Spoken to Isgrimm, Your Majesty.
Have you already spoken to Isgrimm, Your Majesty?
Not yet. But I plan on doing so very soon.
Provided that he wants to. Ever since we dragged him out of those catacombs, he hasn't said a single word.
I will get him to talk.
Will putting Isgrimm in chains really neutralize his influence as a corrupted?
It has to. If he's locked away, how can he advance Jakku? We only need to make certain the locks are safe enough.
Indeed. And even if it were not so, we cannot and will not execute a Circle Mage based on mere conjecture. I am certain you understand.
What will become of Arrakis?
What will become of Arrakis?
We will leave that up to the Prince to decide. Let us just hope that the rest of Hailstone's rebels are wiser than her brother.
They are. And just so you know, the Blackstone rebels will stick with you until you've done what you must.
Thank you, Hailstone. I appreciate your loyalty.
That only leaves us with the masked woman, doesn't it? We need to find the Temple of Light
He's
before
away
they
from us
do.
twice.
Speaking of which, where's Sir Catras? Wasn't he here when the conclave started?
He was.
I'm right here, Your Majesty. May I present Gilbar Mercal, the archaeologist.
Oh, you got him?
In a brothel in Everlight, yes. Lovely chap, he really is.
It wasn't a brothel. It was a bathing house. Now, while I'm humbled to be here, will somebody please tell me what this is about? Why am I here?
You're here because Nortander needs your services. Tell us, Gilbert Mercal. What do you know about the Temple of Light?
The Temple of... Wait. Does that mean you believe me?
Yes.
You believe it exists?
Yes, we do.
We certainly do.
Definitely.
And we have taken
world.
an interest in finding it.
Your Majesty, I don't know what to say. This is an honor. I've spent my entire life...
Well,
we know you have.
there might not be much left
and
of
if
it.
your
You'll
research
help
proves
us
to be
soon.
helpful, I will see you get the recognition you deserve. Now tell us what you know. What is the Temple of Light? And where is it?
Well, where shall I start? First of all, you need to know that Io is a land full of ancient secrets and...
The short version, please.
Fine. You all know about the God of Light, at least since the Purity Wars. It's an interdimensional entity with hostile intentions. What you probably don't know is that Rondar Lacane wasn't the first person to try to bring it into our world.
Who else did?
And ancient people did, too. They were the ones who constructed the original gate. A portal devised to let the God of Light into our world.
Kind of makes sense, because it kind of was
And
just
they
sitting
kept
there.
it in their
wasn't it?
temple.
Okay.
The Temple of Light.
Yes. I doubt that was the name these people used, but according to my research, it's somewhere between the Lorrainian swamplands and Windholm, above the border of the Howling Steppes.
What's the story behind this gate?
The Aliani prophecy Jakku also mentions this gate. What makes it any different from the portal that Lacane tried to open in the Hall of Justice?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about any Jakku, but Rondar Lacane created a tear, a fracture in the veil that seals itself with time.
Okay.
The gate, on the other
keeps it
hand,
open all the time.
cannot be closed once it has been opened.
Ooh.
If it helps, picture the tear as a needle-sized hole in a piece of fabric.
Okay.
The gate is the equivalent of ripping the fabric apart.
Wow, not good. We're at 25 minutes, so we'll continue this explanation next episode. Like, subscribe, everyone. Bye.